What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another great episode of Behind the Layers podcast with your host, me, Kara Christensen, where we uncover the facts, the myths, the truths, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the health, fitness, and beauty industries. And today is episode 38, and we are going to be talking about sex after 40. So stay tuned. Let me get over here, go live on Instagram. So, this has been a big topic for people that have been messaging me about your libido and after 40 and in perimenopause, and men who actually go through menopause, which is something that also happens after 40, 45, where your testosterone drops, and for women, our estrogen drops, and it causes havoc in the body. But what are some of the causes and what are some of the symptoms that we can look out for to know when this shift happens? That is what we're going to talk about today. So, people know about, for women, I don't know. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't understand this microphone. Anybody else have that issue with the microphone? I love the Blue Yeti. I love the Yeti. I love the Yeti. But for some reason, it seems to want to constantly turn off with a barely touch. It's so sensitive. It's like hypersensitive, and not in the way that you want it to be hypersensitive, like, catching your flow. It's sensitive in a way that it is like you could barely touch it, and then the cord comes loose in the back. So anyway, welcome you guys. Episode 38 here. We're almost to episode 40, and we are also almost to 20,000 people on Instagram. Thank you guys so much, and we are working our way up over there on TikTok also. So thank you guys so much on TikTok. I just started coming there on TikTok, and I'm just starting to do my lives. So I really do appreciate you guys who are coming here to get the best, absolute best news on fitness, health, and the beauty industry, where we uncover all the facts, the myths, the good, the bad, and the ugly right here. I deep dive on big topics. And today we are talking about sex over 40, how to have great sex past 40, and how to get there naturally and safely. And those are the topics we're going to dive into today. So welcome, welcome, welcome to you guys just joining me. I have to keep looking down here in my looking over here in my computer while I'm trying to look up here at you guys over here. Okay, so here's the deal. We are going to, let me share this screen. We're going to first talk about ladies. The ladies, I know we have so many things, right? We start our menstrual cycle at an early age, and then we're go through pregnancy. You don't have to go through, it's a gift of pregnancy if you are so inclined. And then from there, you go from perimenopause to menopause. And it's like, what in the absolute? What can we do, right? There's so many things that happen in our bodies, and we're going to learn about that today. We're going to talk about what those things are, how to fix those naturally, how to get more natural lubrication down there. Men, if you're having an issue with getting aroused, staying aroused throughout the whole time frame, we're going to talk about the steps that you can take and the things that you can do to naturally increase your libido also. It's very important because there are so many drugs out there that you can take, but there are so many natural ways that you can handle these issues too, because those drugs can also play a big role in your long-term health on your organs inside. They're very damaging and can be very drying to organs that you need in good standing. So we're going to talk about all these topics today. I'm going to do my best to shuffle in and out on all the different platforms. I can only see live on YouTube. Your live feed on my platform that I'm streaming from, I can only see it from there, and it's from Facebook for some reason, but I will try and shuffle back and forth from Instagram and TikTok and X just to see if anybody has any questions for me on this big topic. So we're going to dive into the libido of the woman. So we're talking about sex after 40. How do you get your libido back? How do you keep it intact? How do you do this naturally without taking those harmful, harsh drugs? So we're going to talk about those things. Let me do a little screen share. And I only use, you guys know, if you're coming here to my channel and you're going to watch my podcast, Behind the Layers, you're going to know that I've already deep dived. I only use sources that I know 100% do come up with or have all the backings of their facts from all of their studies, from everything that they've done in their research, and they have it on their website. So you can also deep dive on that if you want to. But the Mayo Clinic, Healthline, WebMD, those are the main three that I go to when I'm looking up serious topics like this. You want to go to the source, the best source that you can. You can find out so much information out there, but you can't always trust that information. You've got to make sure you're going to the right places. And if you're here at Behind the Layers, I'm going to bring you the information that's coming from the top-notch source. So let's dive in. I'm going to come over here. All right. We're talking about libido in the women first. Women first, ladies first. Come on, you gentlemen know. We got to go with the ladies first. So what is it that you can do naturally without getting on those harmful drugs and getting your libido back? So if you are low sex desire concerns you, talk with your gynecologist or another member of your healthcare team. For some of the low sex drive is part of an ongoing condition called sexual interest arousal disorder. So it's actually a disorder now that they treat with certain medications, but there's also many ways to do this naturally, right? So that's what we're going to really focus on, is the natural way. However, I'm also going to share some things if you are taking antidepressants, some of the antidepressants that you're on might be the culprit in your low libido. So I'm going to also give you some alternatives from the Mayo Clinic that is better for you and won't affect your libido as much, but still keeping you on those antidepressants if you need those. So some of the things that might give you an inkling that you have lower estrogen or lower libido is no desire to have any type of sexual activity or to masturbate, few or no sexual thoughts on fantasies, not not wanting to make the first move in a sexual encounter with a partner, or less or no pleasure during sexual activity, which is so very sad, you guys. So, whoops, let me go back over here. And let me go here. Sorry, I have to go back to the other page and scroll. um, Less or no pleasure during sexual activity, less or no interest in any sexual or erotic cues from a partner, and few or no physical sensations during sexual activity in most sexual encounters. These are the things that you should pay attention to and know that that's not a normal, those aren't normal things to have. You should definitely, with any one of those cues, be a red flag, like saying, okay, something's changing, especially if you were healthy in that department before and now all of a sudden it's not, you have no desire, you don't even think about it, you don't even want to even go there. It's not health, especially if you're in a relationship. You gotta, it's very important. Your sexual activity between each other is very important, both women and men. So I think it's a healthy conversation to have, and I think it's a great topic to touch on without being weird like little 12-year-olds laughing about everything. But this is a really important topic to have, and some people don't feel comfortable having that conversation and they don't know where to turn or what to do. And sometimes people are embarrassed. Like a man might be embarrassed to go and talk about how you can't stay aroused or you can't get aroused to start with. And that could just be a significant drop in your testosterone. So we are going, remember, we're talking about the ladies first. So we're on, oops, I scrolled up too high. Let me go back down. And so you don't have to fit this definition to reach out for help. Your healthcare professional can look for reasons that your sex drive isn't as high as you'd like it. During your appointment, your healthcare professional asks you some questions about your medical and sexual history. Your health professional also might do a pelvic exam. So what's a pelvic exam entail? So this checks for signs of physical changes that sometimes play a role in low sexual desire. These changes can include certain skin diseases of the vulva, thinning of the vaginal tissue, vaginal dryness, or pain triggering spots. A recommended test, which is what I'm getting done too. Not that I'm having any issues in that department, but just because I know I'm in perimenopause and I can tell that my body is feeling different. So it's always a good idea to get your blood work done anytime after 40. So since I'm 45 now, I really am doing all the things. I did my colonoscopy check-in this morning, which I'm like, what in the world? I can't believe I'm at this stage. I feel so young. And also going through the mammograms, ladies, it's important that we do that every year after 40. And getting your blood work done to see if you can start perimenopause after 40, and that will significantly drop your estrogen, which causes all types of issues: mood swings, hot flashes, restless leg syndrome, lower libido. So many things can happen. And these are the things that we need to keep in the forefront of our mind so we can get checked. And how do you do that? You go in, you get your OBGYN, you check out, have them do a pelvic exam on you, have them talk to them. Just be real. I know it's a hard topic for some people to talk about, but at the end of the day, you want to have a healthy sex relationship with your partner. And these it's not something to be shameful of. It just happens after 40, your body changes significantly. So these are the things you can do to go in and get assistance with it. So let's go to treatment. Most women, sorry, I was probably blurry that whole time. My bad. Most women benefit from a treatment approach aimed at the many causes behind the condition. Recommendations may include sex education, counseling, and sometimes medicine or hormone therapy. If you don't have to go the medicine route and we can try this all natural, let's try all natural first. And plus, there's a lot of great organic natural lubes out there if you need those too. But let's talk about how to increase your estrogen as a woman. And then we're going to get into the man's testosterone, but how to increase your estrogen as a woman to be able to get back in the mood and get back in the flow without going down the rabbit hole of medications that there are. But there are some great medications. And some of you that are on those antidepressants may not know that there are some alternate antidepressants that will not affect your libido. And that's for men and women. So, talking with a sex therapist or a counselor skilled in addressing sexual concerns can help with a low sex drive. So, this is interesting because they have a lot of, and I am not sure if it's covered by your insurance or not, but sometimes it will be if you are past 40. So, they have sex therapists that will come in and they'll either just talk with you if you're more comfortable like that, or they'll bring you both in and kind of get you talking about the topic in a positive way and not in a way that's uncomfortable or a little embarrassing, but more like an open conversation with the therapist about your desires, your wants, the thing that you would like to see from your partner, and the things that you guys can do, a little role play kind of situation to help get that sexual libido re-stimulated with your chemistry, because it's important to reconnect and have that. So a sex therapist is somebody that's what they do. That's their whole profession. That's what their whole shtick is getting you to talk about it. Or if you're not comfortable with the other person, talk to you, and then they'll talk to your husband, and then getting you guys kind of like doing your own homework, if you will, and both being open to making that magic happen again in behind closed doors. So, therapy often includes education about sexual response and techniques. Also, if there are questions that you had, some people go their whole life and don't know, like how to please a woman properly or how to please a man properly. And these are great things to know if you're in a relationship, or even if you're not in a relationship and you're exploring in that avenue. You want to know, how do you please the other person? It's not a one-way ticket, right? You want to be able to please the other person. That's what makes a long-lasting, healthy relationship. So the sex therapist is someone that would absolutely talk with you in a way that you can understand, and kind of giving you all the tips and tricks that you need in a confidential setting that you can feel comfortable and safe in talking about those things. So that's I really do like that option right there. Plus, it's all natural to do that, right? And medications. Okay, so if you did need to go down medication route, there are medications out there that do, you know, that do work with your libido getting raised. If your antidepressants might be causing you, okay, so this is if your antidepressants might be the cause for your low sex drive, your healthcare professional may recommend that you wait to see if your sex drive improves when not on it, lower the amount of medicine you take, called the dose, and take a break from the use of the antidepressant and see if that changes or not. And or more importantly, if you do figure out it is your antidepressant, switching antidepressants that are safe and don't normally affect your libido are going to be these four that are listed right here. You can screenshot it if you want. If you are someone who feels like, hey, I'm on antidepressants and I am experiencing these issues, then maybe going in and talking to your doctor about one of these four that I have on the screen right now. So if you take an SSRI, your healthcare professional might add bupropion to your treatment. So that is the third one on the list to kind of help re-stimulate your libido. So let's go back down here. Okay, along with recommending counseling, which is the number one thing that I think is so beneficial for everybody. Even if you've been in a long lasting marriage and you just haven't been going down that route, it's always great to re-stimulate and reconnect in that manner so you can enjoy your time together still on an intimate level like that. So, along with recommending counseling, your healthcare professional may prescribe a medicine to boost your libido. So these options on the screen, these two right here, is something that you can take. If you're on antidepressants, these are two that you can take with your antidepressants to boost your libido and not affect the power of the antidepressant for you. So if you want to screenshot those two, this one of them is a shot and one of them is a pill. So the top one is a shot. I'm sorry, a pill, and the second one is a shot that goes just under the skin in the belly or the thigh right before sexual activity. So those are the things that you can take if you're on antidepressants. We're going to move past that. We're going to go on to the natural way that you can bring up your estrogen, or if you want to get into what we have here is the hormone replacement therapy, which we call HRT. Dryness or shrinking of your beautiful vagina down there is one of the hallmark symptoms of the what they call a GSM. Um, for it's during Usually you get this during perimenopause, anytime after 40. Literally, you can get it. Some people get it in 35, starting 35. So ladies, remember, we're just on the ladies topic. Welcome. Thank you for joining me, you guys, just joining me over there. So this condition might make sex not comfortable, and in turn reduce the desire. So not comfortable in the terms of it's so dry and it's not, you get tearage and uncomfortableness, and it's no fun like that. So what can you do? So the condition might make sex uncomfortable and in turn reduce the desire. Some hormone medicine that aim to relieve GSM symptoms could help make sex more comfortable. And being more comfortable during sex may boost your desire. Obviously, you're going to not want to do it if it hurts, and you're going to be more into it if it's not hurting, right? I mean, duh. So this is the number one thing. So what happens after 40, sometimes 35, is the drop in estrogen happens so quickly and so fast. You might be one day, even for females, the drop in testosterone, which makes you lose your drive in general for a lot of things. Going to the gym, doing your hobbies, like meeting up with friends. And then also for your estrogen, it's like the mood swings, the dryness, and the things that go on your libido are so important. And for men, your testosterone drops massively. And then all of a sudden, what once was not an issue with blood flow down there and keeping an erection or getting an erection or staying, or being in the mood at all. And a lot of times, because you can't keep those things, the erection or keeping the blood flow, happening down there because of testosterone, it affects you mentally in the way of this is, your confidence and being like, I know that this might happen. Now I'm nervous or concerned or embarrassed. Like, I don't even want to go that route because of the embarrassment. So the sex therapist is so beautiful, you guys. You should look into it if these are issues that you want to have, or if you've been with a partner for a long time and you want to spice up ways to please them. Or maybe you never learned because nobody really openly talks about these things in full effect on, even when you're in a relationship. Sometimes it's embarrassing to say, like, oh, well, that doesn't feel good. Like, maybe if you do this instead. So if that's not something that you feel comfortable talking about openly in your relationship, talking with a sex therapist, either by yourself, separate appointments, or coming in together and talking about it and working it out, is such a beautiful thing, because it will enhance your marriage or your relationship. And it really is something I feel so important, that you're showing that effort and wanting to please that other person. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So estrogen, what happens? Estrogen comes in many forms. These include pills, patches, sprays, and gels. For those that don't want to, they have issues with your gut, and you don't want to put more pills down your stomach, and you want something, and you're not good with needles, the cream is so good, because the cream is something that you rub in, like in the inside of your thighs, and it absorbs right into your bloodstream. So that's a really good option. Smaller amounts of estrogen are found in vaginal creams and slow release suppository or ring. So there is a ring for ladies. You know how you get like the IUDs, the birth control thing that goes up and stays for a long period of time. Well, they also have rings that go up and slow release that estrogen that they can implant in there, and you get that slow release, and you don't have to remember about, did I put the cream on, or did I take the pill, or did I do my shot? So that's just a really awesome option that we have out there, that, same thing with birth control. So you don't have to be like, oh gosh, did I forget to take that? That's why they created the IUDs, for people to not have to worry, did you take it or did you not? Because our lives are so filled with so many things, and especially nowadays with so much going on, people are constantly short spanned. So it's a really good option to think about what you can do that's a fail safe and talk to your OBGYN about with those estrogen rings, if that's something that you need. And remember, we're talking about after 40 right now. So your healthcare professional can help you understand the risk and benefit from each. Vaginal estrogen used in a small dose is unlikely to raise the risk of breast cancer, but estrogen won't improve sexual functioning related to sexual interest arousal disorder. So estrogen is just something that's like an overall, it's one piece of the puzzle. So testosterone, and again, if you go into your OBGYN and ask for your blood work after 40, talk about perimenopause, talk about what can happen, talk about how those things can affect your libido. It's important to know, especially with whatever medications you might already be on, and how these things will affect you personally with your health history. So testosterone, this hormone plays a key role in female sexual function, which most women are like, wait, what? I thought testosterone was more for a man's situation, but it's not. It's for 100% a woman. When your testosterone drops after 40, this is a big thing. The drive in all areas of your life, is probably related to a huge drop in your testosterone, just like for men. So in the United States, testosterone isn't approved by the FDA to treat sexual conditions in women. Still, sometimes it's prescribed to help lift a lagging libido, meaning the FDA is not approved for it to treat sexual conditions. Probably it's not going to be covered the same in your insurance unless they find a probable cause for it to be health related or like a health risk. So testosterone that is delivered to the blood through the skin may be helpful in women after menopause. At first, this treatment can be tried for up to 6 months. If it helps, it can be continued with close monitoring by a healthcare professional. The use of testosterone in women can cause acne, extra body hair, and mood or personality changes. Okay, so I've had several people talk to me about when they started the hormone replacement therapy, HRT is what it's called, that they all of a sudden started growing like wild thick hair in certain areas that wasn't like on the chin or around, around the mustache area, because now you're taking a little extra testosterone, and down below you start getting thicker hairs down there. So there are side effects to putting testosterone and boosting it. That's why it's so important that you do it properly through your healthcare professional and make sure you're getting the right dose for you, and depending on what medications that you're on. So, at first treatment of so the extra body hair, the mood or personality changes, of course, when you're putting more testosterone until your body adjusts to it, you might have that first few weeks where your body is trying to readjust to balancing back out. Just like with anything, your body needs 2 to 4 weeks to just readjust to whatever you're adding into it or taking away. So just give it a little time and some patience, and it will readjust. Just ask your partner to be patient with you during the time that you are adding this new thing into your life, because it will be worth it in the end, right? If you have a healthy sex life again. So, pres, pres, prosterone. I thought it was progesterone. But prosterone, this vaginal insert delivers the hormone directly to the vagina to help ease painful sex. You use this medicine nightly to ease the symptoms of moderate to serious vaginal dryness linked to GSM. So, this is something that you might I would wait on something like that. I would wait until you try the other methods and see if your libido rebalances back out. And also with the added things we're going to talk about here in a second, the natural things you can do, just to see, just wait, just give your body like I said, that 2 to 4 weeks to start to readjust, especially if you're on that antidepressant that is affecting your libido and affecting the dryness. If you switch over or add those two that I showed you earlier, you can add those to your medications that if you're on an antidepressant, so it can help boost your libido and help you with your moisture down there. So before you dive into something more serious, let's try some of the natural things first. So, Ospina, take this. It's a pill that can ease painful sex symptoms in women with moderate to serious GSM. It's not improved for women who'd had breast cancer or have high risk of breast cancer. So, just to keep that in mind to bring up those options. But if you want to screenshot these, let me pull it back down here. Those are the things right there, these three that you want to bring up when you go into your doctor's visit. I always like to make a little note sheet, because I feel like when I get in there, my brain gets all scrambled because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking about all the things and like, I hope I get good news. I hope I get that, my brain isn't going a million miles an hour. So I like to make a little list when I go in. And so that way I can stay on topic and not forget that, use that time wisely, that 30-minute appointment to talk about the things that I really have concerns over. And sometimes you just don't remember. So putting notes in your phone or making a little list before you go in is really beneficial, and we'll get your answers. Question. Hey Bo, sorry I wasn't on the screen. Hi, nice to see you. Great topic today, great topic. Okay, so going to over here into natural ways for your estrogen. Let me go back this way, share a different screen. Oopsie. And natural ways to increase your estrogen. Okay. So these are some natural ways if you want to increase your estrogen and you don't want to go, or you're not able to afford, or whatever your hormone replacement therapy, maybe it's not the right fit for you at this moment. These are some things that you can take to help kind of give you a little boost in that estrogen department and kind of give your libido a little pick me up. But I'm telling you right now, if you're able to do it, the most all natural thing is a big part of it is right here. And that is going to speak to a therapist and a sexual therapist and let them kind of talk you through certain things that you can try in the bedroom together, and things that, kind of give it a little fun boost for you guys. So some of the things that you can use are that you can start lifting your estrogen levels would be garlic, soy, eating healthy fats. So healthy fats would be like in olive oil and avocado and almonds, like stuff like that, nuts like that. Berries. So the best berries for you would be blackberries, raspberries, any type, like strawberries are all right, but the blackberries and the raspberries and blueberries are going to be anything that's the darker, richer color is going to be great for your raising your estrogen. Sesame seeds, I love to sprinkle these on almost anything anyway because it gives that crunch, especially a good salad. Legumes like anything. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Hold on. Anything that is like a bean. I love lentils because they're rich in fiber and they have so many great essential um, vitamins in there. Sorry, I was trying to read and talk at the same time. Chickpeas, lentils, black beans, kidney beans, and are great sources. So any of those would be really good. Nuts and seeds. So the nuts you would want would be like almonds, walnut, hazelnut, not so much peanuts. Peanuts are not that great for you. So if you're going in for the nuts, you definitely want to go in on almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, cashews. Pistachios are really great and for heart health. Walnuts are actually very good for your heart health too. So those are great things to keep in mind. Pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds are really, really, pumpkin seeds are super rich in all sorts of essential vitamins. So that is a really great one. I have what I use. It says flax seeds on here. Let me make sure you can see that. I use those flax seeds. I get ground up flaxseed and I put it on almost every meal that I have. And you can't taste it. It's flavorless and it adds such a big benefit of essential vitamins. So the flaxseed is huge. And then let's go back over here. Let me minimize that. You're going to go and see peaches and cruciferous vegetables. What are cruciferous vegetables? Some people might say those are things like cauliflower, cabbage, kale, garden cress, bok choy. Bok choy is really, really good for you. You guys, bok choy is almost like It's almost like celery and kale mixed. If celery and kale had a baby, it would be bok choy. That's the best rendition. Or I guess you could do maybe it's like a broccoli and a celery mix, somewhere around there. So it's kind of got a little bitter taste, but it's really good for you. It is so good for you. Brussels sprouts, wonderful, and mustard plants. So, like green leafy vegetables, that is a cruciferous. Those are cruciferous vegetables, which are really, really good for you. Let's see. We are going to tempeh. What is tempeh? Somebody else asked me this the other day because I was writing up a nutrition plan for someone, and we were talking about tempeh, and they're like, "What? I don't understand what tempeh is." It's kind of like it's really hard to describe. It's almost like if you ground up a bunch of I don't know, like quinoa and brown rice, and packed it into like a kind of a bar that you can cut up like slices. That's kind of how tempeh would the texture would taste and the kind of the taste that it is. So tempeh is a traditional Indonesian food made from fermented soybeans. It's made by a natural culturing and controlled fermentation process that binds soybeans into a cake form. A f- um, it used the fermentation process is about tempeh started. Yeah. So that's what it is. Soybeans. But it tastes like the texture is kind of gritty. I don't know how to explain it. It's interesting, but it's great for you as long as you aren't too high. If you're too high on your estrogen, you wouldn't want to take this because it is a big estrogen booster. So let me go back to the tempeh. Okay, and search management food, blah blah blah. All right, we've covered those. So the Mediterranean fruit. What's the Mediterranean fruit? One might ask. Dried fruit is fruit from which the majority of the original water content has been removed prior to cooking or being eaten. It looks like dried out fruit. Like if you get like dried mangoes or apples or whatever, it's the dehydrated fruit version. But it's really good for you because all the extra fluff in the fruit is the water. So you're still getting the nutrients. People think you don't get the nutrients, but you actually still get a great condensed version of the nutrients. And the fruit is actually very sweet, a lot sweeter than it is when all the water is there to fluff it out to make it what it looks like off the vine. Okay, moving along. Going into some natural lubes, ladies, natural lubes. So let me just share the screen. Somebody else had sent this to me and told me this is something that they feel because I've been talking a lot about menopause and perimenopause. Sorry, I have to sit so close to my computer to read that. But it is for people that need that extra hydration down there. There is a really good, let me share it, a really good lube that is all natural, that is not going to cause any irritation, or some people get really bad yeast infections from using certain lubes. So this is something that is all natural, it's absorbed by your body, and the name is super clever. Let me go to it. Where is this? Right here it is. It's called aloe cadabra, like abracadabra, but aloe cadabra. And that is actually, it's probably going to take me to another page. Is it? Did it? Let me see. It did. So let me go here. Let me pull up my share screen and let me go to, where are the Amazon pages? There we go. Okay, so this is what it is on Amazon. Aloe Cadabra, natural water-based personal lubricant, vaginal moisturizer, organic aloe lube for men. It's all organic. It's natural. Your body accepts it. It's not going to break you out in a rash or have any kind of like weird side effects. Not from anyone I've heard. It, I guess, is how I should say that. Let me see. Make sure I'm on the right page here. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so let me go to, what is the price on this? These are $8.99 for 25 ounces. That is a huge, that's like, the tube is like this big. It's like a huge tube. That should last you for a while. At least I think. I'm not 100% on how much you got going on there. So this is the 2024 top pick for best water-based lubes, made from 95% aloe vera gel, which is very safe and good to use literally on your face, on your skin, and apparently now on, your special lady parts and for men. So let's see, 95% organic aloe. It's got, let's see, safflower oil. I'm seeing if there's anything that looks alarming in here. The citric acid is not my favorite, but it's not terrible. Food grade potassium, organic flavor. Okay, organic vanilla flavor oil. Huh, interesting. So might have a nice little aroma too. Natural ingredients, but replenish your body's moisture naturally. It balances, okay, yeah, because it's got the aloe in it. So it is going to balance your body's natural pH, free of parabens, glycerin, glycols, silicone. Perfect. How beautiful is that? So for $8.99 on Amazon, you get the aloe cadabra, and that is 25 ounces. Did I see that right? Or could that say 2.5? Hold on. It looks like, oh, it's 2.5. It's 2.5. Okay, I was about to say 25 ounces is huge. Sorry, guys. Part of the perimenopause thing is getting your vision in check. So 2.5 ounces. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, holy Toledo. Okay, so that is what it's called. If you want to screenshot it, because I'm going to get off of this page now. So if you want to screenshot what this is an all natural lube in case you needed something in that arena for yourself. I'm going to switch over to the men now. So, guys, if all of a sudden you've had such a healthy sex life and then um, things changed and you're starting to have a lower sex drive, or you're not able to stay in an erect position or even get there at all, it's not something to be embarrassed about or to be shy over talking with your doctor and saying, hey, this is happening. Your testosterone probably just took a big nosedive and now you just need to get back up to speed. No problemo. It happens every day. So let me share this screen. We're going to go into the men's version of your libido. So, all natural lubricant wins. Low sex drive in women. Helps to increase sex and stamina. Men. Here we go. Sorry, I pulled up so many pages. 10 ways for men to improve sexual performance. Remember, we're going to go down the route of all sorts of things, but I really want you to focus on the most natural way first. Of course, the most natural way is what we already discussed, talking with a sex therapist, especially if you're in a relationship and you want to enhance that relationship, and really being connected to one another in that way, in that physical way, is such an important part of a relationship. So I think it is important to talk to a sexual therapist if maybe that's something that you guys are lacking. And it's, you can also come up with really fun and interesting ways to be able to spice things up, which is always a positive. Sometimes sometimes your partner might be a little embarrassed or not able to talk about it freely. So maybe approaching it in a way like, hey, I was thinking that maybe we go talk to this therapist because I would like to get a little more information on ways to please you. And that might open the door a little more comfortably for your partner, rather than you saying, hey, we need to go here because you're not pleasing me, or what have you. So approaching it in a very sensitive manner, because it's a touchy topic, especially for people that are having an issue, you know, getting to the point of being able to have intercourse together. So the 10 ways to improve and why I got all these ads popping up. Okay, common issue: exercise, eat these foods, increase melatonin, try natural remedies, reduce stress, kick unhealthy habits. Masturbating is a huge thing for people that are losing their libido. You have to keep it stimulated down there, especially if you haven't had sex in a long time with your partner. You guys, first, I'm talking about that sex therapy thing, and then, keeping it stimulated to make sure that you keep it active and you want to continue doing that with your partner. Try the start stop technique. What's the start stop technique? This is on Healthline, you guys. So, practice the start-stop technique. Maintaining stamina during sex may also include preventing premature ejaculation. If you ejaculate within 1 minute of the start of partnered sexual activity, practicing the start-stop technique during masturbation may help. Stopping stimulation to the penis right before orgasm can reduce your urge to ejaculate too soon, which, guys, is important for you guys to keep that in mind. So the more you practice what should be happening down there, the more it will affect how it is happening when it comes time to being with your partner. Over time, you can learn to control your orgasms and improve your stamina while with your partner. And this is something that a sex therapist does really well, is talking about those uncomfortable situations and making it a normal thing to talk about, and not so touchy and sensitive, and saying, here's how you can practice this at home. Here's how you can make it better and make it go away. And they also talk about, I don't know if you guys have heard about, doing like mental mantras and being able to, by the control of your mindset, you can also control how quickly or how long you can go and how long you can extend it with just some mind things to do, some things that you're doing with just getting outside of your element in your mind. So that's something that a sex therapist would talk to you about. And it's really quite invigorating when you learn about it. So let's see. Stopping over time, paying attention. Let me go back up to the first one because I don't know why it just brought me all the way down to the bottom. There are some shocking things that you're going to learn about, because I didn't also know about having high blood pressure. Having high blood pressure is also an effect on your libido. If you put on a lot of weight, or now you're in obesity zone or pre-diabetic or diabetic, those are things that can also affect your libido as a woman or a man. So I think it's important to know all the ins and outs of what is going on inside of your body, getting your hormone test, your blood test for your blood work for your hormones, and make sure your hormones are good, making sure your blood pressure is good, making sure your cholesterol is good. Cholesterol is a huge benefactor in this. There's so many things that your doctor can go over with you in your particular case, because I don't know what your medical history is, but knowing, right? Knowledge is power. Knowing that these are factors that play into your libido is a big deal. So, exercise to improve sexual stamina. One of the best ways to improve your health is through cardiovascular exercise. Sex may increase your heart rate, but regular exercise can keep your heart in shape, which helps your sexual performance. Of course, don't want to be having sex with your partner and then they have a heart attack. That would just be a nightmare. Try to perform at least 75 to 150 minutes of sweat-breaking exercise each week. Spread out over multiple days, activities such as swimming and running can do wonders to boost your libido. But if you can't do those things, swimming and running, you can do stairs, like you could do speed walking. So you can do burst speed walking, which is something that I like to give for my clients. And that is when you just take 15 seconds and walk as fast as you can, and then you take another 30 seconds to cool down. And then you're taking another 15 seconds to walk as fast as you can, and then another 30 to 45 seconds to cool down, depending on how high you got your heart rate. You want to get that heart rate up there. That's the best thing for your heart, is getting it up there and bringing it back down. Because what happens when you're having sex, right? You're bringing your heart rate all the way up, and then it comes all the way back down. So your heart has to be able to sustain that. The only way to get it there is to work it out. So avoid sitting for long periods. So I just started this program that I'm going to be launching in March, and it's going to be 5 minutes. So I'm going to drop it at like 11 a.m. each day of the week for people that are just sitting around in their desks. So let's say you started at 8 o'clock. So by the time it's 11 and your body really needs to move. So this is going to be a 5-minute body break from your desk or wherever you're doing your work, from your bed or couch or chair or wherever you're doing your work. This is a 5-minute body break where you're going to go, and I'm going to do some quick routines that you can do each day to stimulate your circulation, to get your muscles moving, to stretch your ligaments and your tendons and your muscles so you don't get tight and your body feels loosey-goosey and ready to like take on the rest of the day. And you can do this as many times as you want throughout your day, but I'm just going to drop it at one time at 11 a.m. starting in March. So you guys be sure to to subscribe to the channel, like or follow wherever you're at Kara Chris TV, at Kara Carachris TV. And that way you'll get notified when I put new posts out. And I'm constantly putting out anything that is going to help you live your best life from the inside out in the most natural way you can. So be looking out for that, because it is true. Sitting like that for long periods of time is really difficult on your body. And especially if you are a truck driver, right? And you are sitting in that position and you have no option. I'm going to give you tips and tricks on what you can do inside of your vehicles if you're a driver or a runner in any way, or you're Amazon or UPS or whatever, what have you. I'm going to give you things that you can do inside your vehicle that will also help you stay stimulated and moving. Amazon and those, you guys get to get out and kind of move, but the truck drivers, you guys are sitting there for long periods of time. So I'm going to show you what you can do in your cabin while you're driving or on a stop or a gas stop or something like that. Some things that you can do. So, if you're not exercising regularly, you can slowly work up these goals over time. Remember, these are all things you can do naturally to help boost your testosterone. This is all about how to get it going better in the bedroom, okay? Endurance, aerobic activities such as swimming, biking, and brisk walking. Like I told you, burst walking. So that's when you're walking as fast as you can for 15 seconds, and then you're resting for 30 seconds or 45, however long it takes you to get your heart rate all the way back down, and then boost it up again. And then we're going to breathe through and get that heart rate back down. So those are some of the things we're going to do. And then strength training. You guys know I'm all about that. Strength training with your resistant bands that you can keep at your work or in your truck or the cabin of wherever you're driving. If you're a driver and you can't get out, you keep your resistant bands with you in your truck, in your at your desk, at your ready. So strength training your muscles by lifting weights, using elastic bands, or performing push-ups. So some of the push-up things that I like, push-up hacks that I like to do, is when you're doing prayer hands and you're just pushing against your hands and flexing all of those muscles at the same time. You're flexing all of your shoulder, your bicep, your tricep, and even your pectoral muscles, and you're just squeezing, 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 and then release. Squeezing, 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 and then release. I would do like 10 of those and then give it a break and then jump back and do as many 10 sets as you can throughout your day. It really will help improve with the circulation in your area, in your arms. Let's see, strength training, balance, improve your balance and lower body strength through Tai Chi, heel to toe walking, or standing on one foot. So that's interesting, right? That the balance is a key in your overall health and your exercise and health improvement. So a lot of people that get off balance when they're, remember we're talking about past 40s. When you have balance issues, that's when you get into the realm of falling and breaking a hip or breaking your leg. And those things are really difficult to recover from. So keeping your balance and your flexibility. The balance comes into play with the flexibility. So a lot of people can't even touch past their knees. So that's a big thing. So if you back your butt up to the wall, stretch your core all the way up, reaching to the sky, or as I tell the kids, touching the clouds, reach all the way up and then hinge at the hips, which means you don't arch your back over. You keep your back nice and straight and in line, and you hinge forward at the hips and coming down as far as you can and reaching those hands all the way down your legs until you can go as far as you can. And then you slowly drop your head down to get a full spine stretch all the way from the top of that spine to the tailbone. Gives a nice, beautiful, long stretch to get all of the oxygen and the blood flow right in between, and all of the spinal fluids right in between those vertebrae where they need to be to have a long, healthy spine, and also a nice stretch in your muscles that you are going to need also. So you want to be able to touch your toes. So every day, if you're doing this stretch routine, which I'm going to drop those 5-minute body breaks starting March 1st, but you want to be able to do that hinge thing where you can back your butt up to the wall just to make sure you have your stability. Back your butt up, stretch all the way up, have your feet shoulder width apart, and you're going to stretch all the way up and hinge at the hips and reaching your hands all the way down as far as they can go. And then once you've reached your max, because it's pulling so tight in your hamstrings, your glutes, and your lower back and the back, Then you lower your head slowly and let it get a full stretch in that neck. This feels so good to do throughout your day, especially if you are constantly just sitting. So keep that in mind. Flexibility is huge. Okay. So going back here, I'm sorry, I've probably been blurry the whole time. Hi, Hal. Thank you. Does vitamin E affect the heart? Not that I've ever heard of. And no, in none of my studies, no. Vitamin E is actually really good topically and orally. So eat these foods. Certain foods can also help you increase blood flow and improve stamina just from certain foods. So what is that? So the American Heart Association recommends eating a balanced diet with more complex carbohydrates than simple ones if you want to maintain good energy levels when it comes to sexual intercourse behind the closed doors. In addition, one study shows that a low intake of carbohydrates before attempting endurance exercise can limit your performance. So, if you're eating some starchy, carby foods before you work out, it can actually lower your performance. And who wants that, right? You definitely do not want that. So, we're all about enhancing that performance. Let me go back here. And anything that I have on the screen, you guys, just make sure you do a screenshot before I turn the page. So eating these foods, in addition, one study shows, okay, I already got that part. So complex carbs, like eating more complex carbs would be like brown rice, quinoa, sweet potato, stuff like that. That's a complex carb. And yeah, that would it's going to be much better for you in any realm anyway. So, fruits and vegetables. A diet high in fruits can lower your risk of high blood pressure. Remember what I said about high blood pressure affecting your libido? High blood pressure and high cholesterol are two things that can actually reduce your libido and get you more off the pattern of feeling into the mood. So, we don't want that. So, we want to keep those things in check. So, comparing blood pressure at home to blood pressure at the office, the following fruits are particularly beneficial. Sometimes what they call is the white coat heartbeat, the white coat heartbeat, which is like people that go into your doctor and all of a sudden you're starting to feel nervous, your palms are starting to sweat. It's a thing. It's called the white coat. I think it's called the white coat heart rate or something like that. So it's when you go in that you all of a sudden have high blood pressure because you're nervous about the situation, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have high blood pressure. So I have one of those checkers at my house because every time I go in, that's how I know about that white coat heart rate is because it's a thing. And I've heard it mentioned several times because they say, do you normally have high blood pressure? So I have one that syncs to my phone and I can send it to my doctor in real time so they can see time, date, stamp on my blood pressure, my current blood pressure when I get home as opposed to what it is when I'm going into a doctor's office. It can raise pretty high. So, and remember what we talked about, raising your blood pressure and having high cholesterol is going to play a part in that libido. So we want to keep those things in check. So the following fruits particularly beneficial are apples, pears, and oranges, or other types of citrus like let's see, vitamin C would be in limes, also lemons and grapefruit. So adding more vegetables to the diet is always a good idea, which we talked about earlier, the cruciferous vegetables, which would be like kale, bok choy, broccoli, things of that nature. You really want to stay anything green, like green cabbage or purple cabbage. I think it's purple, but bok choy and celery is also really good. So anything in the green factory is going to be wonderful for you. Omega-3 fatty acids. This is something that a lot of people don't get enough of because unless you're an avid fish eater, which a high percentage of people do not constantly have fish in their diet or in their menu through the week. So if you're not getting it through your food, you want to make sure you get it in a supplement form because it plays a big role in your estrogen and testosterone levels with your libido. Remember, we're working towards that nice, healthy, strong libido in the most natural way we can do it. We can get it. So what are some of the ways you can get that omega-3 through foods like salmon, anchovies, Black cod. Let me make sure I'm able to. Yeah. Where was I? Sorry. Let me just close out of some of these things so I can find my darn page. Okay. Where was I? Sorry, you guys. Black cod, herring, whitefish, cobia, fortified eggs, and flaxseed. Remember, flaxseed is my best friend. Flaxseed, they come and I get it ground because it's going to be more beneficial when it's ground up. So it comes in like a thing, it's a big vat that you can sprinkle over every food that you eat. It's really good. You can't even taste it. I put it on with my kids' food because it's really good for you, and they can't It's on now though, right? Is it on now? This mic is so sensitive. I'm not quite sure. I could barely like breathe on it and then all of a sudden it turns off. So I backed it up. So now you get to read my lips. I backed it up though, because what I had to say was very important for this. I'm backing up just to the vitamin D. I'm not sure if it cut out before then. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. Well, welcome to the live show, right? Welcome to the live show. So here we go. Vitamin D. According to a literature review, foods high in vitamin D may help lower your risk of severe ED. Now listen, I'm constantly on board with telling you guys about like on a it's one of those things where I'm always saying if you repeat it 7 times, then it can commit to memory. So that's a big thing with the vitamin D. Vitamin D is so important. If there were 4 things I'm telling my client, above and beyond your estrogen or your libido is lacking, something that you can add into your diet, your daily diet, without breaking the bank, that can help assist you with your libido and also with your health in general would be, you ready for this? Get ready, make a note, make a list, get ready to write it down in some capacity. If you're coming to me as a client, you're getting help with your getting on a plan, whether you're trying to lose weight, just get healthy, get off some medications, maybe you're pre-diabetic and we need to bring your blood sugars down, your blood pressure and your cholesterol, and get your insulin in check. Whatever the case, these are the 4 things I'm going to bring to you, and these are all something that also help with your libido. So it's going to be vitamin C, vitamin D3, zinc, and flaxseed. So vitamin C, vitamin D3, zinc, and flaxseed. Those are the ways I'm going to pop off right from the jump and tell you these are the things that are going to enhance your health immediately. Those are the things you add into your diet. So when we're talking about vitamin D, how does vitamin D help your libido? So according to literature review, foods high in vitamin D may help lower your risk of severe ED. So that's severe ED. Thank you so much, Bo. I appreciate you. So if you're having severe erect, even if mild, I would still, D3, I would just keep in your repertoire. So vitamin D3 is going to help you with your erectile dysfunction because it will increase the the oxygen levels and your blood flow. That's the main thing, right? When you're getting erectile dysfunction, it's because you're not getting enough blood flow down there. And that's what you need to fix. And that's what you need to pay attention to, the things that are catering to that lack of blood flow that you want to omit from your diet, or the things that can cater to having that blood flow. And that is what you want to add to your diet. So I would definitely add the vitamin D3 supplement if you don't eat tuna, eggs, or mushrooms, or drink ample enough milk, then I would do the vitamin D3 in a supplement form and like 10,000 IUs a week. And so the tuna, the eggs, these are things that you can add if you are good with those things. Those are things that have natural vitamin D in them. You have to watch out for the tuna with the mercury. Mercury levels are so high right now, and that can cause a whole slew of its own issues. So you don't want to go down that route. Okay, mushrooms are something that the shiitake mushrooms are like a powerhouse of a mushroom. If you take those shiitake mushrooms and you cut them up fine, you can add them to literally anything and you can't really tell the difference. It just absorbs the flavors that it's submerged in or around without adding any type of taste. It really boils down to a texture thing at that point. So, but the mushrooms are so good for you, especially if it's helping with your blood flow down to any people that are experiencing ED. Come on, it's a win-win in my opinion. So you want to increase your melatonin levels. Now you got me constantly checking on that, Bo. Thank you. You want to increase your melatonin levels. The hormone melatonin helps us sleep and has a variety of other benefits. Lower melatonin levels are also associated with high rates of ED. So if you have low melatonin levels, which you probably wouldn't know unless you got tested from your doctor, this is another good reason to go in and say, hey, I'm having some issues down there. Can you give me some blood work? I want to test. And having like a little sheet before you go in. Like I said, coming in with a little cheat sheet to keep you focused, because sometimes you get in there and you're a little nervous and you're not thinking correctly, and you leave and like might be like, shoot, I forgot to say this. Coming up with a bullet point, like a list that you have, maybe write it in your notes in your phone so you don't forget it. And make sure that you ask those important questions, because you want to know, you want to make sure you're getting the right test done. You want to check your testosterone, you want to check your melatonin, because those are things that are catering to the ED. So your body produces melatonin naturally, but it's also available in foods like pistachios. So pistachios are really good, like we talked about, are keeping your heart really good for heart health and keeping your cholesterol down. Pistachios are really good for that. And now I know pistachios are good for people that are suffering from erectile dysfunction. Most people wanting to increase their melatonin levels look to product like supplements. So trying these natural remedies. Remember, I'm always about that, living that best natural holistic life from the inside out. You want to try to do things naturally before you try and go down the route of, like, adding what they call the blue pill or whatever these pills. They're, yes, they will work for you, but they can work against you if now you've taken a pill that's going to give you an erection for 4 hours. And there's so many side effects that are going on inside of your body too, with your liver and your pancreas and your organs that are affected by these drugs, especially if you're already taking other drugs. So try it naturally first. Have an open conversation about it. Getting on board with going to a sexual therapist and talking to them about ways, like I talked about earlier, which my mic might have been off, I'm not sure, but talking with them about the ways that you can stir things up or maybe get things going and kind of getting each other in the mood. But if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So even if you're not using it with each other, learning to please yourself is also important, because it's going to keep it active and keep it working. So when it comes time to you guys starting your intimate journey together again, to keep a nice healthy relationship, you want to make sure it's working down there. And if it's not, you want to be able to address it, because you don't want to go into it with a lack of confidence, and not being able to feel like you can perform can really affect you in your mental, and big part of your game is your mental game. So you want to take a screenshot of these fellas, because these are the ones that are going to be very beneficial to the blood flow in your area, especially if you are someone that's currently suffering from ED. Try these natural remedies. For many years, people have turned to natural aphrodisiacs to help boost libido and sexual performance. Natural remedies to consider include, okay, I'm gonna mess this name up, but yoambine. Yoambine is a tree bark extract that promotes better erectile function by increasing the blood flow right to the penis. This is where you want. If you're having ED, this is a very specific situation right here, right? It's all about that blood flow. So the blood flow. So if this right here, yoambine, spelt YOHIMBIN as in Nancy E, for those of you that are just listening on audio, yoambine is something you want to look up, because that is something, it's a tree bark. So I'm sure it's a supplement in a supplement form. I don't think you're going to be like ordering tree bark to eat, but it's a supplement that you want to incorporate into your diet so you can, of course, increase the blood flow to the area. Then that would snatch that right up, literally. According to one study, men who consumed caffeine before an athletic activity were able to produce more power. So maybe having, like a little shot of espresso, if you're able to have that, to really get it supercharged. Caffeine stimulant effects also increased their stamina. So that's something to keep in mind also. Maybe having that, saving that bit of your caffeine for a time when you're ready to get things going. So ginseng is also one of the most popular herbal remedies for people looking to enhance their overall physical health. It can also enhance sexual stamina. So ginseng. Now, ginseng they have in some teas that you can like get it in green tea, which is a huge benefit anyway for the antioxidant properties. So the green tea with the ginseng you can get at most grocery stores anyway, and that will have that like hyper digestible ginseng already in it, straight absorbed into the stomach, which goes right into the bloodstream. So there's no like waiting for a capsule or a pill to break down. It's like straight up right into the bloodstream when you're drinking it in a tea form like that. And you're getting the added benefits of the green tea, which is like double whammy. Perfect. Perfecto. Okay. reducing your stress. So, of course, if you're having ED, you're going to have some stress, right? You're going to be thinking about it. It's going to affect your mood. It's going to affect the way that you are feeling, your confidence. So, let me erase this a little bit. Your mood and your confidence, of course, that's going to start to add some stress. But you don't want that stress because what did we already learn? Well, I guess we only learned that if my mic was not off during that part of the conversation. But high blood pressure and high cholesterol, but we're mainly talking about the blood pressure because that's what happens when you are stressed. That's why they have the white coat heart rate when you go in and then your blood pressure goes up, and you have high blood pressure only when you're at the doctor's office because you're at the doctor's office. So people get nervous. That's why they created a term for it. So if you're going and you're having higher stress, you're having higher blood pressure. And when you have a higher blood pressure, it's affecting your libido, and it's going to affect the blood flow to the area where you need it the most when it comes time to sexual activity. So stress can affect all areas of your health, including your libido. It increases your heart rate in an unhealthy way and your blood pressure. Both of these are damaging to sexual desire and performance, which a lot of people don't know. You know how many people walk around with high blood pressure? Almost every single one of my clients that have ever come through my door. So many people walk around with high blood pressure because of either the foods they're eating. You can stay in high blood pressure if you're eating too much sodium. You can stay in high blood pressure if you're just constantly walking around with a little anxiety or stress. So high blood pressure is effective, it affects many areas of your life, right? Especially if it's created by stress, your cortisol levels are high. Then when you have high cortisol levels, it's going to store as fat. Everything that's coming in is going to be stored as fat. It creates fat. It creates fat. High stress creates fat, period. So if you are able to start working on some breathing techniques, if you find yourself getting really stressed out or like high strung, if you're able to just get outside, I'm telling you right now, this is a huge thing that I've talked with many of my clients about. High stress levels, getting outside, just go outside, breathe in the fresh air, take a quick walk. If you're taking a walk around the block or a walk around the house or a walk around the building or just a walk to your car and back, just to breathe in, let it out. Take some deep breaths in, feel that sunshine on your face or just the fresh air outside, and breathe out and just get your stress in check before it gets out of control. These are techniques you can do that are free to do, easy to do, and it takes a big burden and a big weight off of your health. I caught it. I caught it this time. So bringing that back down. Oh, wait. I see what's happening. I found it. I found the culprit. Found the culprit to why my mic keeps unplugging. I so apologize for that, you guys. Okay, now I'm on it though. Thank you, Bo. Now I'm on it. I'm on it and I can see it and I'm watching it. Okay, so reducing stress will help with your libido. How? Because it is helping keep your blood pressure in check. So you want to keep your blood pressure in check to keep your libido strong and to keep that blood flow in that area that you want it to be in. And that, of course, a lot of people that are stressed out aren't in the mood for having sex. So keeping it nice and calm and in check and carrying on, right? Carrying on with the deed. Stress can also affect your health, including libido. It increases your heart rate in an unhealthy way and your blood pressure. Both of these are damaging to sexual desire and performance. Okay, you guys, making sure you heard that because I did unplug my mic again on accident. Stress can also affect the ability, you guys ready for this? Stress can also affect your ability to achieve an erection or reach an orgasm. So, what are the things that will bring on stress, right? While you're in that mood? How about confidence or the lack of confidence because you're thinking about an issue that might not be able to get there? Maybe you're thinking about, oh my gosh, I hope I don't finish before my partner, or am I going to be able to keep it up this whole time, or am I going to be able to make it happen? There's so many things that can go in your mind. That's why the sex therapy is so good for you guys. Like a therapist who constantly is working on couples of all different backgrounds of their sexual orientations and how they handle things behind closed doors. So that I know that there are a lot of practices that you can do that will help keep you focused and in the moment without your mind wandering. So you don't want your mind to wander to this and that and start. These are things that affect whether or not you're able to keep the blood flow in that area, or whether or not you're able to keep that rhythm and that passion. You have to make it like a mental game for yourself, and staying focused and in the moment, and when you start to feel your mind drifting somewhere else, refocusing. Or if you need it to drift somewhere else because you haven't done the start stop method. For fellas, if you haven't already learned about this or know about this, and a lot of people aren't comfortable talking about these things, so maybe you don't know about it, I would look up the start stop method. That is going to help you, and you're welcome. That is going to help you in your journey to finding that beautiful sexual horizon with your partner. The start stop method. Okay? Start stop method. Look it up. We already went over that, but just so you can, just in case you missed that, that's an important factor. So, stress can trigger unhealthy habits such as alcohol consumption or smoking, which can also harm your sexual performance. Cigarettes are huge in this with blood flow restriction. So, if you are a smoker and you are having ED, this might be something that might be the turning point for you to be like, okay, I'm done. Like, it's not worth it. I want to get this blood flow back. I'm going to try all these natural remedies. I'm going to eat that tree bark. I'm going to eat that flaxseed. I'm going to work on my stress levels. I'm going to exercise a little bit more so I got my stamina, and I'm going to work on that start stop method. Okay? You hear me, boys? You hear me? So remember, we already covered the females part. So if you guys are just joining in and you want to reevaluate all of the things I said in the beginning of this is a juicy topic, and I don't want you to miss a beat on it. So make sure you do like, subscribe, follow whichever spot you're on at Kara Chris TV. But not all platforms will re-air a live, like TikTok. I know does not do that, and X I don't think does that. I'm not sure, but if you go to my YouTube channel or my Instagram at Kara Chris TV, those two places will always have, I'm streaming this from YouTube, but if you go to those platforms, you'll be able to see all the full live version of this if you missed part of it from the beginning. So it's a 2-hour podcast. So I appreciate you guys joining me. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Okay, moving along. So let me go to the bottom of this one, which is exercise. Exercise is a great way, which we already said, but they're doubling down on this exercise part, right? Exercise is a great way to reduce stress and enrich your health. Talking with your partner about your stressors can also calm you down while strengthening your relationship at the same time. This is what I was talking about with going to or talking to a sexual therapist, a therapist that will talk to you either separately if you and your partner aren't comfortable talking about that in front of each other, or if you are, or you're ready to cross that boundary and reconnect in that way. It is a beautiful thing to do, and you guys can talk openly and comfortably and maybe reach a new level in your relationship that you never thought was possible. So they actually have sex therapists out there that will help you working through your issues together, and it's such a beautiful thing, and there's nothing that you should be ashamed or embarrassed by with this topic. Let me see. Okay. Now, moving along to the next thing. Let me scroll up. I got to go over here. And kicking unhealthy habits. We already did that one. Cigarette. Okay. No, we didn't. Did we? Habits rely. Okay. No, we didn't. Okay. Habits you rely on to unwind, such as consuming alcohol and smoking, could harm your sexual performance. Replacing these habits with healthier ones, such as exercising and eating well, can help boost your sexual health. People don't think that that is a case, and it is, but think about it, right? So let's just like think about in the logical aspect of things. You have high blood pressure, and why is your blood pressure? It's either from stress or from weight gain. So now you put on weight. So now you're feeling a little less confident and maybe not in the mood to get naked in front of your partner. So now you're putting that stress on yourself. Now you're actually eating foods that are lowering your blood pressure in that area where you need it, men. So now you've got that going for you. Now you're adding an extra element, which is smoking, and then you add alcohol, and you're adding all of these things that are taking away the blood flow down there. So that's what this topic is, to what are natural ways that you can get that blood flow back in that arena? What can you add and what can you omit from your daily diet? Giving it a go. Isn't it important? It's important to have a healthy sex life, right? It's important to have that with your partner too. So doing things together to work to that ultimate goal is only going to improve your relationship. So, replacing these habits with healthier ones, such as in exercising together, couples who exercise together stay together. It is true. You have to be in a space where you're growing together and not separately. Can't be one partner going to the gym, getting in shape, and while the other partner is still just eating their health away. It doesn't work like that. You have to find the time. Even if your thing is not going to the gym, there are so many great at-home workouts that you can do. And like I said, in March, I'm starting that 5-day body break where you just get 5 minutes. This is going to help you get back on track. But some of the things that make you unhealthy are the reasons that give your other parts of your life an unhealthy pattern too. It's not just about your physicality, it's about your mental, because confidence plays such a huge part in your sexual productivity, right? Like if you're not feeling confident in, being able to stay erect, that's going to play a part. Now you're stressed, and that's going to play a part in keeping it that way. And then you've got all these other elements that are playing part from keeping you apart. And we're trying to get you together. That's the goal. Getting together and staying together and cutting back on the quota of how many people go through divorce or getting cheated on or whatever. No one's going to look anywhere else if you're healthy and in a healthy pattern of your sexual relationship. They won't need to look anywhere else because they're getting fulfilled at home. So, and if you are a person that feels like you don't have that drive, please, you have to talk to your doctor. If you're not talking to your doctor, maybe you don't have any kind of health care, make sure you go back and watch this from the jump, and you can find natural ways that you can do this on your own, or looking it up either on Healthline, WebMD, or the Mayo Clinic. Don't just go any old place. You don't want to do anything that's damaging. And a lot of people are using you know, extra tools and such. Be careful, ladies, because you don't want to damage your area to where you're not able to get a full experience naturally anymore. So you can actually vibrate yourself to death. So you don't want to give death to any part down there. This is all about giving life to it and giving healthy, mature, functioning, beautiful life to your members. Okay, this is the High Society Members Club here. We're getting healthy and getting right. So, placing these habits while a 2017 study, remember I said anything past 2012 is going to be pretty current for how medicine operates. It is getting better, it is getting quicker, but don't get, blown away by a 2017 study. So, suggests that a little red wine can promote better circulation. This is for people who are not like alcohol or what is it? Don't go to AA or have a problem with alcoholism in their lives. This is not something you approach down because you're thinking, oh, okay, well, I'll do that part and just that alone. No, if you have an issue with that, you don't even approach this. Um, Too much alcohol, like everything in moderation, right? But if you have alcoholism in your family, moderation is not in your blood type. So stay away from this one. Keep your alcohol intake at a moderate level. Yeah. Cigarette smoking narrow, and this is why cigarettes affect your ED, right? Your blood flow down there. Cigarette smoking narrows your blood vessels, increasing your risk of impotence. Cutting back or quitting smoking altogether is one of the most important steps you can take towards bettering your performance. I mean, if I were a guy and I was having these issues and it came down to me being able to perform what I want to do and not because of my cigarettes, guess what habit I would be quitting cold turkey? Okay. That. Anybody out there? Anybody? So, yes, I know, Bo, your journey, and it's so empowering to hear you share that with people and how long you've been sober. I think it's great. Okay, you guys, screenshot right here. Boom. Sorry for those of you just listening on audio. Masturbating for longevity. This is the start stop method. You guys need to look this up. Remember, this whole part right here is for men. I already did the women's section. If you guys are just joining, Please go back and watch the full episode. You can watch it on YouTube or Instagram, or I think Facebook puts it on there for the full episode at Kara Chris TV. But so we're on masturbate for longevity. If you're not lasting as long as you'd like to in bed, you might need some practice. While sex itself is the best way to practice, of course, you don't want to like a guinea pig on your partner, but if you guys are both getting beneficial and talking your way through it, like, hey, maybe you've reached that point before I was able to, so let's work on things to continue on. And that's something, if you're not comfortable having that conversation yourselves or starting that conversation up, talking to a sex therapist is somebody who can comfortably get you talking about it. And therefore, you guys can start a new habit in your own household, which is going to be beautiful for your marriage or your relationship. Um, how you masturbate is important. If you rush through it, you could inadvertently decrease the time you last with your partner. So, practice makes everything, right? So, like my coaches used to say when I used to be in sports or in dance, you you're going to perform how you practice. So, we would practice all out because you want to perform that way too. So you want to have your performance with yourself the same as your performance would be with your partner. So look up that start stop method, you guys. I know I keep saying it, but did I say it 7 times yet? Because that's when it's really going to kick in, the start stop method for you men. And it's going to benefit your relationships with your lady. Okay. The secret is making it last just like you want when you're not alone. That's why the start stop method. So instead of continuing through, you stop and you learn to control it and you learn the power of your mind to be able to stop it and withhold until your partner is also ready to reach that point with you. This is such like an important part of a relationship. You have to want to please the other person as much as they're pleasing you. It's just how it goes. It's not a one-way street. It is a two-way ticket. You have to, takes two to tango, right? As they say. So, start stop method. Was that 7 times yet? Start stop method. Okay. Look that up, fellas. Get advice here on how to masturbate. So you can look this up on healthline.com. This article that I have right here, you can click on that little section right there and it'll pull up a whole nother, and I'm sure it's going to talk about the start stop method. Make sure you're learning it. Remember from the places or Mayo Clinic, healthline.com is where I'm looking at this. And the Mayo Clinic Health and WebMD. But Healthline, well, let me show you what the title of this one is so you can see it at the top. If you want a screenshot or if you're listening on audio, 10 ways for men to improve sexual performance on healthline.com. 10 ways for men to improve sexual performance. So that's what the article is called. If you guys, because it has a lot of fun things to click through here. So all the topics that you can click through are the types of foods and oh, did I just pull my microphone out again? No, okay. I'm so paranoid about that now, Bo. Types of foods, reducing stress, kicking unhealthy habits. All of these are their own subtitles, so you can click on it and get, more information on it. But there, I'm sure it does talk about the start stop method somewhere in there. Let me scroll back down to where we were. We were at number, ha! No way. How funny is that? Guess what we landed on, ladies and gentlemen? Practice the start stop technique. Okay, so I guess it's already here. Again, we already went over this once, so I guess it's going to bring us to it again. Maintaining stamina during intercourse may also include preventing premature ejaculation. I started with this, didn't I? That's why, because it took me down to the bottom. Okay. Yeah, I remember now and then I scrolled up. So, anyway, let's go over it again. If you are someone who finishes within 1 minute of the start of partnered sexual intercourse, practicing the start stop technique during masturbation may help. Of course, it's going to help because it's going to help you learn how to control that situation until you're ready to do that. Tantra. Is that what it's called? Tantra? I have to look it up again. Stopping stimulation to the penis right before an orgasm can reduce your urge to ejaculate too soon. So that's the start stop method, right? Over time, you can learn how to control your orgasms and improve your stamina while with your partner. So make sure you read all about that. This is an important part. Remember, we're on the man section. I know, ladies, I see you. I see your shout outs over there. Yes, clapping hands, and you guys are so funny. Yes, man, I'm telling you, it is going to help you learning this right here, that start stop technique. Now, when you're reading this article on healthline.com, you can go and click on anything where you see the blue writing. You can click on those things and it will bring up a whole plethora of other things for you to learn. Start stop technique and exactly how to do that. And it's almost like what I've been talking about, going to a sexual therapist to learn these things and how to better please your partner. It is important for you to learn that. So click on that. If you go to this article on healthline.com, 10 ways to improve your sex life, your sex stamina as a man, then this is, yes, I know we already did the ladies. The ladies were the first part of this, and you can check that out on my YouTube channel at Kara Chris TV or on Instagram or Facebook. Okay, so paying attention to your partner. You think, duh, logical. Okay, well, paying attention to your partner, maybe you're not doing that right now. So what's going to happen if you're not paying attention to your partner? You're not telling your partner how beautiful they are, how good looking they are, how handsome or whatever. Even if you're not feeling it in that moment, it is so, you think about ways that you can think about that person in a beautiful light. Think about, what are they the mother of your children? Did they give you a beautiful life? Did they cook for you? Did they clean for you? What are the things that are attractive about them that you can weigh in on, that's going to draw you closer to them, to make you feel, are they paying the bills? Are they taking care of you in some kind of way? Are they there for you when you need it? Whatever the case may be, finding ways, sitting down and thinking about 10 things that you love about that person, and then complimenting them on those things is going to really benefit your marriage. I mean, you can literally whip that marriage around at 180 degrees within minutes, because you are now starting to, it's almost like a plant that you see in the corner that's all dried up and dead and sad and limp looking. And you're like, oh no, that poor plant. And you give it some water and a little love. And before you know it, the next day, it's just like perky and lively. And you can't believe that it just went from what it was to that over one little thing of water. Same thing, compliments. They're free, they're easy to do, and you should find those reasons anyway, because once you start looking at that person differently, instead of looking at that person with their flaws and how they don't make you happy, or how the things that rub you the wrong way, like irritability, or frustration, or annoying, don't focus on those things. Focus on the things that are beautiful, that made you fall in love with them to begin with. Focus on the things that you can be grateful for in that moment, and tell them. Say it out loud. Don't just keep it in your head. If you find that look pretty, you don't want to boost their ego up. If you want to have a healthy sex relationship with your partner, you're going to do these things. That's just it. That's how it goes. You have to open your mouth and say some words that are meaningful. Or maybe your person's love language is action. So do something nice for that person in that day, and who knows what the night will bring. But keeping it touching, holding hands, sitting next to each other, leg to leg on the couch, like doing things in a day, coming home and hugging that person, because you're not coming home to an empty house. Or if you are coming home to an empty house and you're ready to go out and about and mingle, maybe catering to somebody in a nice way and offering them, hey, you want to go for a coffee, or would you like to meet up for a walk in the morning, or something like that. And then complimenting them through the time that you're together, but not in a creepy way, not like, your legs look good in that short skirt. Like, just being like, wow, you're so much more beautiful in person, or whatever the case, if you're just on a dating thing. So things that it can help you maneuver in a proper way. And ladies are always a sucker for somebody that is going to have chivalry and open the door for them and do kind things, pull the chair out for them, that kind of stuff. My husband still does that all the time, and I love him for it. That's one of the things that singled him out above the rest and makes you say I do, because a woman wants a man that's going to treat them like a lady and a princess, and that's going to value them for who they are, and not be afraid to tell you how much they love you and how beautiful you are and how wonderful you are, and thank you for the things that you do around the house or for them, or whatever the case. Don't ever let that slide, because that is the death of a situation, of a marriage or a relationship. Don't let those things slide. even in your friendships, or in your, like, you're not going to compliment your friends like that. I'm not saying like that. I'm saying like, hey, thanks for doing this for me. I really do appreciate it. Or thanks for, helping me out with this. I really do appreciate it. Just those simple words saying thank you and I appreciate you, and or I'm sorry if you messed up. Those can really be big icebreakers that you could have formed, like Fort Knox of a situation around your relationship. And now you've torn those walls down because of some simple words, and they're free. It's free to do, especially if you're in a relationship and you want to have a stronger sex life with your partner. You just have to add that stuff in there. It just is. So, finally, to number 9, pay attention to your partner. Sex isn't a one-way street. Paying special attention to your partner's desires makes sex pleasurable and can help turn you. I'm sorry, this is such tiny font. Can help turn you on or slow you down. So, you guys got to talk about it. Talk about, what is it? Do you like it when I say this? Do you like it when I do that? Have an open conversation. It's not an embarrassing thing if you don't make it one. Just be like, hey, I'd like to talk to you about these things because I want us to have a strong connection there. Is that okay with you? Kind of approaching it like that. Not just like start all of a sudden blabbing your mouth about something that somebody else took them from left field and they weren't prepared for that conversation, but having a conversation that's like, hey, I really want to please you in the right way. Do you mind if we have an open conversation about those things? I don't want it to be a weird thing, but I just want to connect with you on that way. And making it something that's open and can be discussed and talked about in a positive manner. Because who doesn't want to hear, I want to please you, please help me, tell me what to do, and breaking that ice for you. I mean, that's so beautiful to have. Okay. So, alternating pace or focusing on your partner while taking a break can make a more enjoyable experience for you. So, alternating pace, meaning, you know, kind of like if you're doing high intensity interval training, you want to have that heart rate manipulation because it gets your mind, your body, and your spirit stimulated in all the right ways. So, the same thing for if you're in a sexual, that's what they call foreplay, having a little, time where kind of teasing around with each other before you dive in. And even when you're diving in, you kind of back off and kind of tease it around a little bit more, and just intertwining with these levels and keeping it healthy and interesting and exciting, whatever that looks like for you and your partner. So, talking about sex beforehand can also ease any awkwardness. This is what I just said earlier. If you need to slow down during a heated moment. So, if you're at a point where it's too much or it's too aggressive or it's too whatever, just talk to your partner and learn that if you want to continue on the course of having a healthy sexual relationship with your partner, you want to not just do your own thing. You want to listen to what your partner's saying and adhere to that motion, because you want to continue doing that, right? You don't want to be like them, shut the factory down for you, and then you've just, you know, slammed your way out of it, so to speak. You want to do what is right for your partner, because ultimately what's right for your partner is going to be right for you, because that's going to keep your situation healthy and strong and ready to go, rather than closing up shop and then, sorry, buddy, you're out. Okay, last one. We made it to number 10. Okay, number 10. So I guess if like all the first 9 were not were not enough, so it gets to number 10, saying you may need medical treatment if you have a type of sexual dysfunction such as ED, and you've tried all of these natural things already. So what are the natural things we talked about? We talked about working out more, cutting out your cigarettes, if not cutting back on that, cutting back on that alcohol, it's going to affect it, getting your stress rate in check, your blood pressure in check, adding some, you guys kind of have to scroll back to it because I don't remember how to say it. Actually, I can scroll down. Uh, let's go to this herb. What was it? Ginseng right here. Yo Yohimbine is the tree bark that gets your blood flow, increases the blood flow directly to that area. So that's what you want. You want to add that, some ginseng, some vitamin D3, some flaxseed, your omega-3s. Those are all natural ways to increase your blood flow down there, because that's what ED is, right? And then, the start-stop method. keeping it going. If you stop using it, you lose it. You want to keep things going and healthy down there. Okay, and then it says get more help if you need it. Um, let's see if you need a medical type of I already did that part. And or I don't know what this is. Peyronie's disease. Sounds like a dog. Isn't a dog Pyrenees, or can I just make that up? Don't hesitate to talk with a doctor about how you can improve your sexual performance. So I know there are other people that it's not in the doctor's office. Like if you want to get your blood work done, I think it's always going to be a beneficial thing for you to do is getting your blood work done to see if your testosterone or estrogen are low, and then going from there. And these are the ways that you can pick it up. But I would definitely look into the increase of that blood flow, even like going into a thing like a steam room or a sauna or things like that that help get your heart rate up there. It's really good for heart health too, going in a steam room or sauna in moderation. Like you want to go in for like 15 or 20 minutes, and that'll get your heart rate up and get you sweating and get out all the impurities out of your body, and just kind of getting you in a healthier status anyway. It gets your blood flow going, it gets your circulation going. It's really good for you to do that. So if you do have a gym, or you have like what I have, that at home steam room, that is a really great option too, if for some reason you're not able to get your heart rate up by doing it with exercise. Maybe you're going through I don't know, you just got done with surgery, or you've got some things going on with your knees. Another great way of increasing your testosterone is fasting. If you fast for 17 hours, I believe, it increases your testosterone by 1,300%. 1,300 boost in your testosterone. So fasting for 17 hours, and that includes your sleep time. So if you're sleeping for 8 hours, you wake up, you only have like coffee and water. Remember, caffeine is also a stimulant, so it will help with the blood flow down there. But I would go through your day. You can take some of these supplements, take your ginseng, take your you have mine, but go through your day and get some activity in, and then save like a little, maybe you're having like an afternoon delight, meeting up and having something in the afternoon and scheduling it in if you have to, and just making it fun and exciting, something that you look forward to each week. But just keeping things fresh and new is always going to be exciting in general. But let me finish this up so I can get this off my screen. The takeaway is increasing your sexual stamina may weigh on your mind, but know that there's no simple fix. You have to put the effort into it. You just have to. You have to put some time and effort into it. But the good news is that it's not something that is forever, and it's not going to break the bank, and you don't have to get on necessarily get on a pill to make those things happen. These are just some of the things you can naturally do to keep it in check. And remember, staying in the moment, connected to your partner, giving your partner some reassurance, some verbal reassurance, letting them know what works for you, what doesn't, keeping them feeling good throughout the week, so they want to go to that space with you by complimenting them, thanking them, or an apology to something that you might have done to upset them. All will help aid in the longevity of your sex life with your partner. So there's good news though. Taking steps to improve your sexual stamina can help your overall health and wellness too. It's a win-win. It really is. It's a win for your marriage. It's a win for your physical, your mind, body, spirit, all of that, right? And no better way to get rid of some tension than that activity right there. So staying active, eating healthy foods, and dropping some habits like the alcohol and the smoking cigarettes are key to better sexual experiences for you and your partner. It's never a wrong decision to exercise, eat right, and enjoy your life to the fullest, your sex life to the fullest, right? I mean, can I get an amen in the house? That is a big deal for sure. Let me just take this off here and whoops. Yep, I did it. So, what a great topic, right? I feel like it's a topic that not many people are comfortable always discussing, but it's so important in our overall health in general, is having a healthy sex life with our partners. And I think it's important to know how to please another person. Like if you're a single person and maybe you're having a little bit of difficulty finding someone or staying in a relationship, maybe going to a sex therapist to talk about, they don't just talk about the one thing. They talk about all kinds of things, like how you can cater to that person, how like I'm talking to you is like how to, when you're in a relationship, what do you think your issues are? What are the things that you feel like are your downfalls to it not being a lasting situation? What are the things you feel like you could do better? And then implement those things. A lot of times you can, in therapy, or answering your own questions for yourself. It's just asking yourself the right questions. You have the answers in most cases. You have the answers. You know what you should or shouldn't. For the most part, you know if you've hurt someone that you should probably apologize, but sometimes ego is the thing that gets in the way, and people don't do what they need to take the flame out of the fire, right? You can't have a fire without the flame. So taking the flame out of the fire is important, and just going to talk to someone and enhancing who you are and who you're able to present to somebody else is going to be a win-win in any realm. So maybe it's an ED issue, maybe it's you're being pleased but the other person's not. I mean, maybe they're saying that they are and they're not. So going to a sex therapist, that will open your eyes to what is actually pleasing to a female as a man, what is actually pleasing to a female, and what is actually pleasing to a man as a woman, or same sex, whatever your preference is. And just learning about that person, whether you're going in by yourself and you're single and you want to know how to better navigate into your dating life so you can lock down a forever person, then why not? It's worth it, because this is something that is not talked about enough. And I feel like it's one of the most important things in a marriage. Because why do people stray or look the other way or go the other ways? Because now you've let the bad accumulate. You've let the things, you started focusing more on the bad, like the frustrating or irritable or annoying things. You let those get in the way of all the beautiful positive things that you fell in love with that person. And they could still be there, but you're not allowing yourself to see it. So doing like a spring cleaning, right? Just like getting all that bad out, clean out all the cobwebs, and literally figuratively clean out all the cobwebs and get it all nice and tidy again inside of your wheelhouse in your mind, and saying, I'm going to sit down today and I'm going to write down 10 things. Either it's about yourself. If you're single, you want to write down 10 things you want to work on yourself and getting better at doing for another person, or 10 things in your relationship that you really love about your partner that you want to start changing and make that change, because no one can do it, right? You lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. You have to want that in your life. And that is such a healthy space to be in your whole being, your whole presence. It's a big part of our relationships and our lives. As in a, God made Eve for Adam, because we're not supposed to be alone. So if you're on a path to try and find someone or be with someone, or you're just trying to better yourself so you can be a better partner for somebody else. And when you do find your forever person, you don't want to scare them off with the same old things that you've already been doing, that you maybe don't know what you've been doing wrong because you haven't had anybody to tell you, because it's not a comfortable conversation to have. I think the more that we start making these uncomfortable conversations comfortable, the more we're going to start having a more healthy approach to it all. And that's where we want to get, right? And the healthiest life from the inside out that you can have. So, contacting a sexual therapist that can help you, even if you're single, along your journey, and kind of crack down on what is it that you feel like you're doing, what is it that they can direct you into doing, and how you can better approach and be a better version of you to commit to somebody else. So that's my 2 cents about it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast today. Please do like, subscribe, and share. Sharing is caring. If you know anybody that could benefit from this topic today, please do share it with them. Give it a thumbs up and like it. And also by subscribing or being a part of my channels, then you'll get notified when I come on. I'm here Tuesday through Fridays. And yep, I really hope. Hi. Hi, love you too. Pineys, yes, you're right. You're right, Bo. Hi, I love you too. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you. I hope you're well. All right, you guys, that's it for today. Both, thank you so much for telling me that my mic was off. I really look here now that pulsing heart. I cannot tell you how much that meant to me because I could have done the rest of this podcast with my mic unplugged. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I hope to see you here tomorrow. I'm not sure if, again, I'll be here on Thursday because I'm getting all of my checkups since the 45th year of my life, which I'm so grateful for. But I got to stay on top of all of the health checkups so I can stay healthy and fit and ready to be here to uncover the layers from Behind the Layers podcast with you, where we uncover the layers, the truths, the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, the myths of the health, beauty, and fitness industry. I'm your host, Kara Christensen. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.